Boom. All right, what's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to be talking about a new face to the public equity markets, but an old friend to many of us. That is going to be Robinhood stock, or ticker symbol HOOD. As many of you know, Robinhood has had a very eventful first trading week since it IPO'd back on July 29th. A first IPO day that did not go very well. It actually went pretty damn terribly, but since then, Robinhood does look to be turning the tides, especially following today's price action up as much as 30% at one point during the trading day, which is pretty insane price action considering Robinhood is a $30 billion company. I definitely want to talk to you guys about valuation. We're going to talk a little bit about financials in one of these articles, but I more want to focus on valuation. Why I think the $30 billion valuation that Robinhood came out of the gates with is cheap, especially when you consider the long term, and talk to you guys a little bit about those longer term price targets, valuation targets, because I think Robinhood is definitely capable of at least a 10x, if not more, over the coming years, okay? So we'll talk longer term targets, again, more from a valuation perspective, just kind of ballparking numbers. But I do also want to talk to you guys about the IPO. We will go over a few articles that touches on some of the specifics surrounding this IPO, what happened over the past week. And then I also want to talk to you guys about my short-term targets. We'll dive into the charts, obviously, because we've only had a few trading days with Robinhood at the time of recording. There's not much technicals to go off of. But after today's rally, I do want to talk to you guys about some short-term targets I have to the downside. Talk to you guys about where I'm personally comfortable picking up HOOD over the coming week or so, all right? So obviously, you guys can see the targets right here. It's no surprise, but I will jump into the charts and try to justify these a little bit for you guys. And again, just talk valuation. This is more of a macro analysis as opposed to a short-term technical analysis, all right? So let's get into it. As always, we'll quickly go over all of the topics we'll be discussing, and then we'll dive in. In front of us, TradingView. Again, going to keep it short-term. There's not much to go off of here, but we'll still take a look at HOOD regardless. Take a look at some of these price ranges on these trading days. Again, first day out the gates on 12%, today 30%. And again, just want to talk to you guys. We'll close out the video on the charts. Just talk to you guys about where at this point in time, once again, not from a long-term perspective. Long-term, I just said this thing's capable of 10xing. Would not be hesitant if I was just holding this, setting it, forgetting it for like 5-10 years to pick it up now. But from a profit optimization perspective, that's what swing traders do. I will talk to you guys about where I'm comfortable buying at this point in time. Okay, so the first article, though, we're going to take a look at cnbc. Robinhood surges more than 24%, blows past $38 IPO price. Go over a few key points here. Shout out Vlad and his boy, the long-haired gang. But we'll take a look at a few key points here. Just go over the IPO. Not getting super deep into it, you guys, but just catching up on what happened with this IPO, the surge that we saw today. The second article, so we'll kick it off with the good, close it out with the not so good. Again, Robinhood falls in debut as retail investors keep their distance. Okay, Rob, again, Vlad, even smile on his face, even when the first IPO day did not go so well. Okay, so Vlad, a little kind of a sus character. Let me know down below what you guys think of good old Vladdy boy. Okay, but we'll take a look at this again. Just go over all of the hype surrounding the IPO over the past week. And then I did say we're going to talk a little bit about financials. So this article is a little older. New York Times, Robinhood reveals rising revenue and a $1.4 billion loss. So again, you guys, not going to get into the depths, not going to get into the semantics of Robinhood's financials. They're obviously at this point in time scaling revenue at a very, very rapid pace, but extremely unprofitable. But again, you guys, valuation at this point in time in this current market environment is so vague, and it almost just continues to get more and more vague considering there's so much just hot capital flying around everywhere. So we will take a look at a few financial metrics here. But again, this is more to play into the long-term valuation potential that I think Robinhood has personally, all right? So that is everything we're going to cover. Again, we're going to close it out on the charts, talk short terms. But before we do any of that, I will ask you guys to please give the video a like if you do go on to gain value from it today. If you bought some HOOD on the pullback, if you bought HOOD in the IPO, please let me know, because Robinhood did give obviously early access to Robinhood traders. Let me know if you bought it prior. Let me know if you held it through the dip. Let me know if you sold on the dip. Let me know if you bought the dip and are appreciating some beautiful profits right now. If you guys are trading HOOD at all, or if you're bullish long-term on HOOD, please give the video a like. Again, share your thoughts about HOOD in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, want to catch more content like this. And of course, if you want to know exactly how I will be trading HOOD in the future, on IPO day, I did buy a single share just for the culture, similar with Coinbase, just for fun, just to hold on to it, to say I did, to partake in a pretty historical event, I feel. And again, what I feel is like the most highly anticipated IPO of the year. But anyway, if you want to know exactly what I'm buying, gonna give you guys my price targets anyway. But just to keep updated during market hours themselves, check out my complete portfolio daily newsletter. First link down in the description. $15 a month or $40 for every 3 months, to each their own. But this is a complete breakdown of my entire portfolio. Again, not just Robinhood. It's Robinhood at this point in time, very, very small piece of my portfolio. Plenty of good stuff in there, you guys. At least I think it's good. Obviously, I think it's good. But if you guys want all my call options, put options, stock positions, crypto positions, a full list broken down in percentages, which I do update every single trading day during market hours. And along with every update, I do send out an email newsletter rationalizing my thoughts, explaining why I'm trading the way I'm trading, throwing some charts in there, just whatever I feel is important during actual market hours that I want to relay with you guys. And again, we touch on a lot of sectors, a lot of names in there. So again, means a lot if you guys check that out. First link down below. But if not, no worries at all. I appreciate you watching right now. Let's hop into the charts after we go over all of the fundamentals, okay? Always got to kick it off with the fundamentals. So key points. Robinhood went public last Thursday on the NASDAQ under the ticker HOOD. The stock priced at $38 per share, the low end of its offering range. It opened at that price on Thursday, but then fell 8% on its first day and is largely traded below that price until Tuesday, which is today, August 3rd, at the time of recording once again. The Menlo Park, California-based company, is a top traded stock on Fidelity, which is generally a good proxy for individual investor interest on a given day. Obviously, Robinhood saw some very, very insane volume today. Again, everyone's been keeping an eye on it, but today really just caught up. A lot of the hype and FOMO that we've seen so much this year really caught up today. Shares of Robinhood soared Tuesday, pushing the newly public stock trading app well above its IPO price of $38 per share last week. Robinhood went public last Thursday on the NASDAQ under the ticker HOOD, hitting the public market it seeks to democratize. The stock priced at $38 per share, the low end of its offering range. It opened at that price on Thursday, but fell 8% once again. Until Tuesday, Robinhood stock closed at $46.80 per share, up 24.2% on the day. Go over some quotes here. Although we have come to expect 40% surges on the first day of trading, Robinhood talked to a wider swath of investors, including significant retail, to push the boundaries on pricing. Greg Martin of Rainmaker Securities said, quote, "I believe now the long-term investors who seek the incredible long-term value of Robinhood are moving the stock, as the short-term investors have largely fled the stock." So I guess short-term investors, you could say, are moving the stock. I feel bad for a lot of the Robinhood traders that got in. I think the average buy position, I don't have the stat right here, but I remember hearing it somewhere. I think the average buy of Robinhood shares pre-IPO on the Robinhood app was like $1,600. So there was a lot of money from Robinhood investors themselves piling into this. Again, they just got punched in the face with an 8% drop on the first day of the IPO, and I think a lot of them were just sickened by that, and they probably dropped it. Again, that's not my case, but I do have empathy for all the Robinhood traders who kind of got again slapped in the face with that one. But long term, obviously, you guys, long-term value of Robinhood, again, I just said 10x. We'll talk about that a little more as we go into the financials. But $30 billion, I could easily see one day Robinhood being a $300 million plus company, which is obviously a 10x from here, okay? Bulls love Robinhood for its massive growth, especially during the coronavirus pandemic and GameStop trading mania. Robinhood, which offers equity, cryptocurrency, and options trading, as well as cash management accounts, had 18 million clients as of March 2021. Up from 7.2 million in 2020, which is obviously an insane over 2x growth year over year, an increase of 151%. The company estimates funded accounts reached 22.5 million in the second quarter. Quote, "As Robinhood branches out into the other forms of finance, including buy now, pay later cards, I think CEO Vlad Tenev's army of 22 million users will grow and become more powerful," Jim Cramer said from good old Jimmy Boy. "That's why I'm telling you that Robinhood can be bought here," Cramer added. He also said Robinhood could acquire another fintech company in order to expand more into the payment space, which could boost the stock even further. Robinhood has also been getting a vote of confidence from ARK Invest, everyone's favorite, Cathie Wood, since the debut. Wood purchased about 1.85 million shares of Robinhood on Friday, adding to the 1.3 million shares she bought Thursday. Wood's total position is worth roughly $147.5 million based on Robinhood's current price. Quote, "Nothing would be better than for Robinhood to be priced perfectly and stay the same price for a couple of months," early Robinhood investors Jason Calacanis told CNBC last Thursday. Any retail investors that might be new to the game, it would be a great lesson for them to buy and hold things for a long time. That is where the real great wins come from. So Jason Calacanis, obviously founder of This Week in Startups, the All In podcast, probably one of my favorite podcasts in the game. Very, very successful angel investor as well, early in Uber, Calm.com, and more, and Robinhood, of course, okay? So, again, you guys, from a set it and forget it perspective, even at these levels, even at the peak today, up like 30% today. Long-term, Robinhood, considering we're at even just what, like 30, just above $38 billion. What's the valuation right now? 39, just under $40 billion is pretty cheap. Once again, considering Robinhood can easily be, in my opinion, over the course of the next 5-10 years, a $300 million plus company, okay? $300 billion plus company, all right? So, let's move on here, go over a few key points here. Trading app share seeing 8.4% after $2.1 billion IPO. Again, the tragic first IPO day right here. Right here. CEO Tenev says he isn't thinking about the market in the short term. So again, kind of all coming down to the argument, short term versus long term traders, and just overall sentiment surrounding the stock. Robinhood Markets, Inc. ended its first day as a public company 8.4% below its initial public offering price after failing to win over some of the very retail investors it's courting for long-term growth. The online trading platform focused on making investors out of millennials slid as much as 12% in its trading debut Thursday after a $2.1 billion IPO priced at the bottom end of a marketed range. The shares, which opened at the $38 offer price, closed at $34.82 in New York, giving the company a market value of $29 billion. Again, cheap, so cheap. $30 billion valuation, cheap for Robinhood, especially accounting for the long term. Accounting for employee stock options, similar holdings, Robinhood's fully diluted value rises to more than $30 billion, but it's still short of the $36 billion plus valuation it would have had at the top end of its price range. The trading app, made famous in the years for the meme stock frenzy. Honestly, you guys, this isn't even very necessary to read. Let's go over some of these financials quickly and dive into the charts, talk a little bit about valuations and whatnot, okay? So, Robinhood reveals rising revenue and once again a $1.4 billion loss. The stock trading app unveiled its initial public offering prospectus on Thursday. Again, this is prior to the IPO, a little older. I think this article is maybe a couple weeks old. Thursday, pulling back the curtain on its financial performance for the first time. This was on updated on July 19th. So yeah, a couple weeks old at this point. Aaron Griffith. San Francisco, Robinhood, the stock trading app that grew in popularity and notoriety during the pandemic, revealed skyrocketing revenue and a loss of more than $1.4 billion in the first 3 months of this year. That, in the first quarter, for Q1 financials, a $1.4 billion loss is insane. Again, Robinhood is still in the growth phase. It seems like they're a legacy company at this point just because they've made such a significant impact on the culture. But again, it is important to remember that Robinhood, in the grand scheme of things, is still a young company. They're still burning cash, but again, they're scaling their operations. If they were burning cash and revenue wasn't increasing at the scale it was, that's a lot more worrying. But and again, obviously at some point they will find some semblance of profitability. But for now, they are burning through cash, okay? One of this year's most anticipated public offerings. Revenue was $420 million in the first 3 months of the year, a greater than fourfold jump from $96 million a year earlier. So again, revenue 4x year over year, impressive. It lost $1.4 billion during that period, far wider than a loss of $53 million a year ago. That is a lot more than 4x loss compounding. The company attributed the loss to $3.5 billion in debt that it raised in February. In 2020, Robinhood eked out a profit of $7 million. It reported profits in 2 out of the last 9 quarters. So, again, you know Robinhood is capable of turning a profit. And again, over time, aside from all of the kind of like the shady antics and whatnot that went down earlier this year, Robinhood, it's so obvious in my mind, especially considering they are just a tech-based, a SaaS platform pretty much, will have no issue in the long term converting or finding profitability and converting their users into profitable users at that, okay? Quote, close it out with this quote before diving into the charts, talking price targets. We are all investors. The prospectus declared we're creating a modern financial services platform for everyone. Again, Robinhood, the beauty of Robinhood, the reason I still love Robinhood as a platform, I've done so much for my net worth, my YouTube channel. And again, it's democratized the investing landscape. Before Robinhood came down, like even now I still use TD Ameritrade. TD Ameritrade as a platform, like their UI, their user interface sucks. Robinhood is such a well-designed platform. It's easy to use. And again, it's democratized investing, retail investing for the entire world. And it's created so much financial literacy among so many people. Again, the user growth year over year, that's an extra 10 million people who signed up year over year, more than that, like 15 million, I guess. That's that many people becoming more educated and furthering themselves in the financial world and educating themselves further. And ultimately, long term, of course, the more financially literate you are, that will pay off dividends over the course of your life. Okay, so shout out Robinhood. I still love Robinhood as a company. I respect them even after all the shady stuff. But again, just know that I am biased from a long-term perspective, and I believe in the CEOs. I believe in the operators that Robinhood, over the course of time, again, $40 billion market cap, I'll still hold that 10x. I think Robinhood, on like 10 years from now, the impact that they've made on the world is I would say $1 trillion, is worth $1 trillion over the course of the next 10 years. Obviously, they have to continue operating at the pace that they are now, but conservatively, I think Robinhood over the course of the next few years can reach at least a $400 billion market cap, which from here is a chill 10x, okay? So we're not going to get into share price and stuff, but just now, even after today, and I do think we'll pull back more, we'll talk about that to close out the video. I do think that a 10x from here, if you're willing to just hold it for a few years and just wait it out and just have those diamond hands with Robinhood, I think this is definitely a 10x potential play, okay? So short term, again, saw a 30% move up today, did close the day up 24%. Very, very impressive price action. Once again, for a company at the scale of $30 billion, which takes a lot of capital inflow to affect the stock price that much. But again, not surprising just because Robinhood has been pretty boring and actually seen a decline over the past few days. And again, a lot of people are realizing they're 30 billion, 35 billion, even 40 billion, a little cheap for a company with as much cultural relevance as Robinhood, okay? So short term, not much to say here. You guys can see this. I do think Robinhood will come down at some point. Maybe we see another day up, but at some point, I do think Robinhood will come down to at least $42, test the initial high of this current rally. But in all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Robinhood come back down to $40 in the short term. 40, it's nice psychological even. The peak of the trading day, the day at IPO, just at $40. And again, I do think that we will begin a series of higher highs and higher lows. I think Robinhood has a lot of upside from here, obviously long term, but medium term as well. But I will say that I'm not a buyer of Robinhood just yet because just from a technical perspective, especially after a rally like today, again, maybe we rally up one more time, but I do personally believe Robinhood will come down to at least $42. At $42, which is what, like a 10% pullback from here, just about a 10%, give or take a percent or so. I do think that we will see another like a 10% correction. At that point, I'm comfortable buying, and I'm definitely comfortable buying short, medium, and long term at $40. Again, given we do see a pullback, which I think is pretty likely. All right, so we'll close it out there, you guys. Again, short term price action is not as relevant considering everything that we've just covered. Long term, Robinhood has crazy potential. Robinhood is not going anywhere. Robinhood will, I shouldn't say forever, but for the foreseeable future, dominate the retail investing space. If you're signing up for Robinhood nowadays, if new traders, if teenagers, people who are just getting into the investment landscape, the retail investing space, are going to create a brokerage platform or are going to create a brokerage account, I should say, they're definitely going to go with Robinhood, okay? So long term, again, like Kramer said, fintech stuff, there's so many catalysts, potential catalysts moving forward that could propel Robinhood to be, again, maybe one day a $1 trillion company, but 100 billion, 200 billion, 400 billion, 10x from here, I think is pretty safe, all right? So we'll call it there, you guys. Please let me know what you think about Robinhood down below. Again, if you partook in the IPO, if you bought the dip, and if you were just cashing out today, congrats to you. Send you a cheers emoji down below. But I look forward to talking to you guys downstairs in the comments. Until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.